Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, October the 16th, and we are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. And every day of the week, we look at a different genre. On Wednesdays, we look at romance. Hope you had a good Tuesday. Now we're into Wednesday. I had to go run and get my phone. It was on the charger. All right. Let's see, quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. We do have them tomorrow night, though, at 8 p.m. Eastern. I do them 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evening, and Saturday afternoons. All right, romance. A Winter Wish by Emily Stone. When Lexi learns of her father's death, she doesn't know how to feel. They've barely spoken in the last 10 years, and she's even more confused when she discovers he's left her half of his holiday travel company, a successful niche business specializing in trips that explore the holiday traditions of cultures all around the world. Well, you're his daughter. Meanwhile, the other half of the company has been left to her father's handsome but bad tempered young executive, Theo, and the will stipulates that the two of them must find a way to run the company together for a year before they decide its fate. Lexi intends to leave once the year is over, even though, as a wanderer herself, she finds the company's mission more compelling than she first thought. And a work trip to sizzling Spain reveals a chemistry between Lexi and Theo that is impossible to deny. They may have there may have been some snap judgments made about each other, but mixing business and pleasure isn't always a good idea. Indeed. Now this one catches my attention again because it is outside the norm. It is Jewish and Hanukkah. Good morning, Mary. Good morning. Is everything tip top now at work? Hope so. No, it was a headache. We are hoping so. We are hoping so. We did a couple more things that we're hoping will solve that problem. Mary, going to the grocery store, need just about everything since I haven't been. That's true, in ages due to travel. Not excited. Not my favorite thing to do anymore. I get it. Because then you have to haul it to the car, and then you have to haul it into the house, and you have to put it away. And it's very expensive these days. 8 Nights to Win Her Heart by Miri White. Andy Williams is not looking forward to spending her first Hanukkah alone after her father's death. About to lose her job with her only prospect across the country for another work opportunity, she could use some chutzpah to make it through the 8 nights alone. Leo Dents has had a crush on the girl across the hall from his apartment for years, but has never had the courage to say anything until she drops her grocery bags and he notices her drugstore Hanukkah candles. Ready to take a chance outside of his comfort zone, Leo offers to join Andy on the first night, sharing his dinner with her. As Andy and Leo fall for each other one night at a time and the clock ticks down on Andy's move, will this season of miracles light their way forward? That sounds very nice. I am tempted. I'd have to add that to my holiday possibles. If I Stopped Haunting You. Have been thinking about a meal service. Easy, it might not waste so much food. Have you used one? So many to pick from. I have not. For me, it was an expense, and Steve is very picky. They can save a lot of hassle. Who does them? Olivia reads a latte uh, blog, reading book blog. I've seen her with a meal plan, cooking, and they have a card on how to cook things. This is by Colby Wilkins. It's been months since horror author Penelope Skinner threw a book at Neil Storm, but he was so infuriating with his sparkling green eyes and his best selling horror novels that claimed to break native stereotypes. And now she's a publishing pariah and hasn't been able to write a word since. So when her friend invites her to a too good to be true writer's retreat in a supposedly haunted Scottish castle, she seizes the opportunity. Of course, some things really are too good to be true. Neil wants nothing less than to be trapped in a castle with the frustratingly adorable woman who threw a book at him. She drew blood. Worse still, she unleashed a serious case of self doubt. Neil is terrified to write another best selling book without a soul, as Penn called it. All Neil wants is to find inspiration while completely avoiding her. But as the retreat begins, Penn and Neil are stunned to find themselves trapped in a real life ghost story. Even more horrifying, they're stuck together, and a truly shocking, extremely hot, almost kiss has left them rethinking their feelings. And maybe they shouldn't have been enemies at all, but if they can't stop the ghost pursuing them, they may never have the chance to find out. Ghosts don't do that. There's other entities who do that, but ghosts don't do that. I think we're in for a bunch more Christmas stuff. Most Wonderful by Georgia Clark. I'm not even ready to do jack-o'-lanterns on my ambiance, let alone Christmas. The holidays, although I do kind of like that cover. The holidays are fast approaching, and the Belvedere siblings are a mess. Liz, a Hollywood showrunner and responsible eldest, has no idea how to follow up her hit show's first season or how to deal with her giant crush on its star, Violet Grace. Birdie turned her chronic middle child syndrome into a career as a stand-up comic, but since she spends more time wooing women than working on new material, she's facing one hit wonder status, especially once she gets axed by her manager. And Rafi, sensitive romantic and the baby golden boy, proposes to his coworker girlfriend in front of their entire company, only to be turned down by the woman he thought was the love of his life. Born to three different fathers, the three adult children share one mother, famed actress and singer Babs Belvedere. Seeking direction and holiday cheer, all three siblings head up to their mother's house in the country, determined to swear off love and focus on themselves and their work. But the spirit of the season seems to have different plans for them, and their best intentions are quickly derailed in the most delightful and festive of ways. End of row one. Wish I Were Here by Melissa Weisner. Catherine Lipton carefully calculates everything, and not just because she's a professor. She had a chaotic childhood growing up with a free spirited single dad. So now, from her daily to dos to her afternoon snacks, Catherine has a plan for it all. But sometimes she wishes she could be someone else, someone with a totally different life. Until suddenly, her entire identity, from her social security number to her driver's license to her academic record, mysteriously disappears. There's no evidence Catherine Lipton ever existed. With no ID and no other options, Catherine reluctantly accepts help from her exasperatingly laid back and infuriating attractive doorman, Luca Morelli. Before long, by the books, Catherine finds herself bending all the rules with the charismatic Luca, from taking meetings in smoky bars to breaking into hospital record rooms and having a surprising amount of fun. As Catherine unravels the truth behind her identity's disappearance, she may discover that the real Catherine has been missing for a lot longer than she realized. Hi, Storm. Hey, listening while we get dressed. Awesome. Appreciate that. And Mary says, Hi, Storm. Yep, I'm just that news broadcast in the morning, although it's book news. So it's a better option to listen to while you're getting ready. 23 and You and Me by Michelle McCraw. Some might call Gabe grumpy. He prefers safety conscious. As CEO of the happiest place in Ohio, Beach Island Amusement Park, it's a responsibility he takes seriously, especially since his parents were killed on one of the coasters there years ago. Sunny has a different legacy. She's Hollywood royalty. Too bad she quit her last acting gig in an award worthy blow up. But even after being fired from her humiliating job as a DNA testing company customer service rep, she refuses to let real life drama crush her spirit. She takes one thing with her: contact information for a stranger's siblings Gabe didn't know he had. She'll give him a second chance at a happy family if she has to drive him to Las Vegas herself. Which is exactly what she does. On the road, snowstorms, a swoon-worthy karaoke duet, and motels with only one bed help these two opposites see they're not so different. But love, that's a jackpot too unlikely even for Vegas. Or is it? So she stole genetic information? And you shouldn't do those genetic things anyway, because after you give them the sample, they own that sample and can do anything they want to with your genetic information. Just saying. And Storm says, "Hey, Mary Beck." A brass anchor in Christmas. A later in life small town romance. Sixth in the Turner Family of Blue Star Island series by Jennifer Fay. Carol Carmichael operates the refresh decor service at Turner Home Furnishings, but business has recently dropped off, putting her job in jeopardy. Misfortune strikes the island, and Blue Star's annual 10-day Christmas celebration is moved to the new ballroom at the Brass Anchor Inn. Carol is asked to decorate the ballroom for the festivities. Could the high visibility of this project be exactly what she needs to keep her job? There's just one catch. Working at the inn will put her in direct contact with the man who broke her heart. Hotel manager Harvey Coleman is not feeling the holiday spirit. A health scare has him pulling back from life and those who care about him. But when Carol arrives at the inn, she turns his frown upside down with her sunny smiles. There's no way she'll give him a second chance, even if he wants one. As Christmas approaches, a bit of matchmaking keeps their lives intertwined. Will the spirit of the season heal their hearts and a sprig of mistletoe give their love a second chance? Includes a recipe for Carol's chai spice cookies. That might be the worth the price of admission right there. And if they're smart, they'll put it at the end of the book, not at the beginning. Whoa, listen to me, marketing people. Oh, we did that one. How did these? How, it doesn't let me do duplicates, but somehow it's letting me do duplicates. I don't know. Catch and Keep by Aaron Hahn. At 33, Marin Laughlin's just turned down her boyfriend's proposal, walked away from her decade-long position as a park ranger, and returned to her childhood playground in northern Wisconsin to accept her inheritance, a decrepit waterfront bait shop. After a lifetime of letting things happen to her, she's ready to start making her own moves, even if someone else thinks she's making the wrong ones. Well, not everyone. At least the local Heartstopper and resort owner is on her side. Josiah Cole, side comment. Do names, I know somebody with that first name who I do not care for, can taint a book for you? Do you not read the book, or do you pretend to and change the name to something else when you see it in the book? Just curious. Has made some missteps in his life, but he's proud of what he has. Two awesome kids and the keys to the kind of getaway spot that has families coming back every summer. They're up north, home away from home. After his marriage dissolved, leaving him a single dad, he feels he's the last person to judge Marin for her recent transformation, even if his best friend, her brother, wants him to feel otherwise. Besides, he generally likes having her around. She's a breath of fresh air. His kids adore her, not to mention her dog Rogers, and it doesn't hurt that she's beautiful. Things between Marin and Joe are easy. Oh, okay, good. He goes by Joe. So easy, they're fully immersed in the middle before they even decide to begin. It's not a question of should they, but rather can they make it last? Are things too easy, or is it just how real love works? Monarch by Sophie Lark. I like that cover. Definitely has a gothic feel to it. It says, in a desperate bid to get out of town, 27-year-old virgin, who, what does that, hello? And bookstore nerd Elena Zelenska becomes the world's most unlikely mail order bride. Her gamble pays off when she's swept off her feet by Benjamin Whittaker, handsome single father and gasp, actual published author. Elena's new fiance seems almost too good to be true. Her life is turning into a fairy tale, especially once Ben starts building her a castle in the woods. But when Elena arrives in Grimstone, her fairy tale turns darker. The castle in the woods is a macabre labyrinth of hidden chambers, and Ben is no Prince Charming. In fact, he might just be a monster. Isolated far from home, Elena's only ally is Atlas Covet, the owner of the Monarch Hotel. Massive and stern, even Atlas's employees are terrified of him. He becomes Elena's unexpected protector, offering solace and sanctuary from the darkness that threatens to consume her. As Elena's bond with Atlas deepens, her jealous fiance exerts his control in increasingly twisted ways. Elena must find a way out before the castle he's building becomes a prison she'll never escape. Well, it was under romance. Seems a little fantasy-ish, but maybe not fantasy and just gothic-y. That definitely took a dark turn. On the other side of the spectrum, with a title like Puppy Love at Mistletoe Junction, that can only be lightness, love, and all that. Very cute title, Catch and Keep. Yeah, for a love story. I like the Monarch title too. Yeah. I think it depends on how much I dislike the person. True. This person, the Josiah that I know is the only time Keo has really, when the person came to the door of my office, went, "You stay the hell away from here." So we already sort of knew that about this person, but it was a definite confirmation. Mary, never had that happen to me regarding names, so not sure how I react. Ugh. Lucy Buchanan, this is by Shannon Richard. Lucy Buchanan and Theo Taylor have never gotten along, like ever. Not when they were children, not when they were teenagers, and definitely not as adults, though that last part might be more Lucy's doing than Theo's. It was the summer after she graduated college when their antagonism towards each other boiled over into something hot. That is until Lucy left town in a flash, leaving everything behind for warm Los Angeles. But now she's returned after 7 years following a bad breakup and a newfound disillusionment with La La Land. As for Theo, he doesn't know and doesn't care about whatever happened to make Lucy come back. His lingering resentment is enough to keep her at arm's length until she inevitably leaves again. The problem is, being around each other has proven that their friction isn't going anywhere, especially when it leads to some pretty intense heat. The two have no idea what they've rekindled, but things get even more complicated when they rescue a pregnant dog together, taking on joint responsibility of caring for her. Lucy and Theo must find a way to overcome their past, first for the sake of the dog and her litter, and for their own wounded hearts. How can you not when there's puppies involved? Oh, we've got some traditional covers coming up. Huzzah! The Maverick and Miss Miller, first in the Matchmaker Mischief by Marie Patrick. Evie Miller certainly hadn't. Okay, the question is relevant here. Who ever heard of a mail order husband? Evie Miller certainly hadn't until Jake Hannigan showed up on her doorstep thanks to an advertisement her niece placed in papers all over the country, unbeknownst to her. Evie has absolutely no need for a husband. She has managed Montaña del Treño, the Silva family ranch, and raised her late sister's children to full grown and married. Now she plans to spend her days enjoying the fruits of her labor, but the man did come a long way, so rather than send him home, she offers him a job. Though she has no use for a husband, she can always use another ranch hand. Oh, that kind of job. Jake Hannigan, a former gambler, has no desire to marry either. Not really. He's just looking for a place to hide until the gambling kingpin in San Francisco stops looking for him. And what better place to do it than this ranch in New Mexico? He's happy to accept the position as ranch hand, even if he knows nothing about cowboying or how to ride a horse. He's a fast learner, though, and it could be entertaining to see who else answers the husband wanted advertisement. It doesn't take long for Jake to catch on, even discovering he has a special talent with horses. He's also quick to understand what a catch Evie Miller actually is. As their friendship blossoms, he finds himself dreading the next suitor to come to the ranch and the possibility Evie will accept an offer of marriage. How can he reveal the growing feelings to her when he came under false pretenses, especially now that word from San Francisco says the kingpin is close and his life is in danger? He has only one choice: to protect Evie and her family. He has only one choice. He must leave and quite possibly break both their hearts. Again, interesting twist. Unmask Me, My Love. Ah, now there's a title for vintage, but it's not. It's brand new. This is by Jenna Jackson, third in the Matchmaker's Ball. He'll do anything for for the woman he loves, except tell the truth. Gabrielle Deventure is a young woman on a mission. She has come to England as a lady's maid in single-minded pursuit of the Duke of Rother. When she meets Horace Carpenter, valet to a marquis, she is delighted to enlist his aid in gaining her heart's desire, a meeting with the Duke. But will her growing feelings for the handsome valet interfere with her plans for Rother? The eccentric Marquis of Halford, Hal to his friends, is fed up with the demands of society, especially his father's decree that he marry this season. To that end, Hal hides out at Lady Hamilton's ball, refusing to choose a bride. However, when a breathtaking young woman intrudes on his solitude, Hal is instantly captivated and rashly introduces himself as a valet and offers his help. Despite his growing fear about the true motive behind Gabriella's quest to meet the Duke, Hal devises a plan to gain an audience with him, all the while praying his deception won't ruin his chances of winning her love. We'll Always Have Christmas by Jenny Hale. Christmas has always been a special time for Noelle Parker. Winter evenings spent with family and friends, drinking hot chocolate and eating cookies at her family's cozy bakery have shaped her love for all things festive. But this year, everything is changing. The beloved bakery is facing closure, and Noelle needs a miracle to save Christmas. So far, this sounds like a Hallmark movie. Determined to raise funds for the family business, Noelle sets about revamping the bakery while juggling a surprise new job caring for the elderly and cantankerous William Harrington in his luxurious, sprawling mansion. As Noelle melts the frostiness of the house with cake baking, snowball fights, and glittering decorations, she helps William to reconnect with a romance that has spanned decades and unexpectedly finds herself falling for his grandson, the gorgeous but mysterious Alexander Harrington. In the countdown to Christmas, can Noelle save the bakery, reunite a family, and create some magical memories of her own along the way? And the other one we have is Into the Sunset by Mary Connolly. The bell has rung. Maybe we can read this first paragraph really fast. Into the Sunset by Mary Connolly, third in a Western Light series. Will the sun set on their chance at happiness before they can seize it? To finally escape the clutches of her controlling husband and the threat of being recommitted to an asylum, Ginny Rutledge enlists the help of her friends Maeve O'Toole and Dakota Harlan. Fleeing their own tumultuous past, the group embarks on a journey to prove Ginny's sanity. However, as they confront the shadows they wish they could forget, danger looms with unexpected places. So all three of them look like they find a man. All right, that is it for love this week. There will be more love next week. How is Keo? Haven't heard anything about that boy lately. He's doing good. He's finally off the antibiotics. He seems to be on a healthy spurt here for a little bit until the next medical thing goes on with him. People just love him. They come to the shop and they just love him. That one sounds like fun to me. I'm usually a sucker for cowboys and romance. Ah, and the twist. I like that. It's a husband for advertising. Now we're talking romance set in England in olden days. May have to check them out. Exactly. We could probably make a lot of money if we wrote those kind of books. Storm, don't all Christmas books sound like a Hallmark? Exactly. They do. I mentioned it in another show. Has Hallmark ruined Christmas romances in book form? I mean, I love what they do, but they've done it to death. They're starting Christmas on, are they? That is way too early. Like a couple years ago, they did it like the day after Halloween, which is still too early, but to do it this week? Ah, bells, bells, bells. The tintinnabulation of the bells. Hope everyone has a great day and thanks so much. Hope to see you later and have a good day too. Ciao, babies. Ciao. They have for me pretty much. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have a good Wednesday. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. I will be doing them tomorrow night. I have to play with some yarn tonight and read my good book. Oh, and work, there's work things. So please be well. You guys are in my heart. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.